We're going to take you around with what turned out to be an upset Saturday, guys. North Carolina on the road against North Carolina State. Roy Williams, the Tar Heels, thinking they'd own the Wolfpack of late. But watch this excellent execution, Jay, by the Wolfpack.
Well, a little screen and slip, taking it all the way to the basket. North Carolina didn't react defensively, not in position, seeing man and ball.
Engen Astor had 10 assists. Brandon Costner was strong, finished with 15 points. And Courtney Bell shot it well all day, Dick.
Yes, he did. They shot 60% for the game. Carolina did not guard the perimeter that well. State had a lot of confidence.
And McCauley and Astor again working together, Hubert.
Well, they did a good job offensively, but the key was Engen Astor. I mean, this is a guy at the point guard. He's back from injury. They are 7-2 when he is in the lineup.
He had the bad hamstring, and Gavin Grant would finish with style.
I'll tell you, Grant is a real versatile player. I think it's the passion that's being brought to that club by Sidney Lowe. The love he has for his alma mater is being demonstrated.
7 minutes to go, things appear to get testy. Now Tyler Hansbrough, they hit him up with a tee down. I think he was slapping at the ball, Jay.
Well, he might have been. He just reacted a little too quick. It looked funny in real time, and the referees called a tee on him.
Now, later in the half, NC State up by 9. Fells drains another tough one from the corner. State goes up by 11, but it's back down to 4. Hansbrough going the other way. Strong move to the cup.
Yeah, he takes it in strong, and he also scored 5 points in the paint when they're down 10 to cut it to 5.
And here goes Fells again, Dick.
I'll tell you, he was on fire. They really are special. Think about this. Sidney has a win as a player and now as a coach.
But those are the only two he had against North Carolina at NC State. Tar Heels desperate in the final moments. Couldn't get it to go, and North Carolina falls at the hands of NC State. A legitimate storming of the court, 83-79. And you see the way North Carolina State really improved on offense against Carolina today.
No, they did a terrific job. They shot 60% from the field. All 5 guys were in double figures. So when you shoot that well, you're not going to lose basketball games.
They only missed 4 shots from the floor in the second half. They were outstanding. Oregon and USC. Trojans going for the sweep of the Ducks. Second half, Oregon down by 3. I want you to keep your eye on Chamberlain Oguchi. Good Oregon ball movement. Brooks would find Oguchi.
Oguchi open. He had a rough shooting night. He knocks this one down, but Oregon usually does a pretty good job of spacing the floor and getting threes.
Daniel Hackett ahead of the field. SC goes up by 5. A minute later, Nick Young would find Hackett.
I'll tell you, Young has really been super, and Huskins is on fire. Hackett can really shoot the ball. What a great story. You go to LA now, it's UCLA and Southern Cal, and you better come to play.
Bryce Taylor going strong. Ducks within 2. 10 seconds to go. Oguchi's going to try for the 3. Oregon able to work the glass. Brooks tried to get the tie, Digger.
He tried to get it, but it wasn't there. But give credit to Southern Cal. They just played a tough defense when they needed. And the end of this play, another chance to get it done. No. Sweep of the Ducks by Southern Cal.
USC wins it 71-68. The Ducks, the second top 10 team to get knocked off. And the road game's a little bit tough for the Ducks. They had the Washington swing, now the Southern California swing. They go 1-3. Their only victory overtime at Wazoo.
You know, I don't call this a big upset at all. I mean, really, Southern Cal at home, very tough to beat. And wait till they get O.J. Mayo next year. Move over to Kobe Bryant.
Okay, if you don't call this one an upset, this next one I believe you'll have to. Oklahoma State on the road at Colorado. Sean Sutton and the Pokes. Oklahoma State down by 4. James on Curry, but knocked down to 3. He finished with 20. Pokes had a 1-point lead, but Colorado pushed it out to 12. Hubert, Xavier Silas gets a friendly roll.
Oklahoma State on the road has really struggled. They've lost their last 4 road games by the average of 20 points.
Richard Roby in the post. He kicked it out to Calvin Bay. C to 3, B to 3. 15-point lead for the Buffs. Still 14-point edge, and Bay would do it again.
You know, Colorado played with nothing to lose, with a free mind in this game, and Oklahoma State needed to deliver a knockout blow early, and they didn't. They didn't bring the intensity they need on the road.
Dominic Coleman once, and then he does it again.
Does it again. He's wide open there to get the layup. And the other thing they did, they go 21 for 27 the second half on free throws. That's why they won the game. They closed
close to that.
89-77. OK State with 3 straight road losses. Maybe this will satisfy your upset quality. Kansas State and Texas. Kevin Durant off the miss.
I tell you, Kevin Durant was sensational again, the diaper dandies. But Kansas State had an answer. Unbelievable story. They've won now 7 in a row.
Durant would finish with 32 points. He had 5 blocks in the game, but Cartier Martin came up with big shots for Huggy Bear.
Well, Cartier Martin's one of the best players in the country, an outstanding performer. You can see he screens here and then spaces out a little screen and flare. Catch, squares up. He had 27 points in the ball game against Texas. Made a lot of big shots.
Wildcats would take the 3-point lead, and Texas desperately needed to get something to go. Durant goes strong, cuts the lead to 1, under 5 seconds to go. And here's where Texas really didn't get a great look at the goal.
No, they didn't. They wanted to get a better look, but you have to compliment Kansas State. They did a terrific job on DJ Augustine, keeping him out of the lane.
Kansas State beats Texas 73-72. First time they've won in Austin since 1983. But remember, these two teams weren't in the same conference until 96 with the advent of the Big 12. So really their first win in Austin since the advent of the Big 12. Cartier Martin in his last 7 has just been outstanding. Yeah, in the Big 10, Northwestern and Wisconsin, Bo Ryan and the Badgers looking for their 19th straight at home. The veterans, Cameron Taylor, Orlando Tucker.
Yeah, when you want to go inside, just look for Orlando Tucker. 20 big points today.
Wisconsin had an 8-point lead. Michael Flowers, let's go to the baseline. All 5 defenders would converge.
Draws the defense, right. Great move, and then you find him. He's open. Flowers hits this big shot for the 3.
Defensive breakdown by Northwestern. Jason Bohannon was wide open there. Later in the half, Marcus Landry to steal.
Nice
Tucker,
pass.
how about good look there?
I'll get it.
Look at Joe Kravenhoff working.
Well, inside, scored inside, but Brian Butch only 1 for 3, only 4 points, but a plus today for the Badgers. 16 for 20 to the free throw line when they've been shooting 68%.
Badgers shot 47% from 3. They win it by 17. Ohio State and Michigan State, a rematch of last week's College Game Day matchup. It came down to the final second. Oden working inside. Thank you very much.
Yeah, they did a nice job of establishing a post. He had 16 points and 11 rebounds down low in the paint.
Here goes the freshman point guard, Mike Conley. To make Conley finish, he had 10 points. Oden now making his game away from the basket a little.
Yeah, you can tell that his wrist is feeling a little bit better. He's catching the ball outside of the block, showing a beautiful right-hand jump hook.
Remember last week, second half when the Spartans came roaring back. Goran Sukan over Oden, a 6-point game. Then Drew Neitzel to find Drew Namath.
Yeah, but you look at Drew Neitzel, he had 24 points in the game, 6 threes. He had 29 last week, 25 in the second half.
Apparently, he likes playing against that Buckeye defense. Sukan knocking down the jumper. He had 16. Sparty within 1. Ohio State had pushed it back to 5. Conley, Lewis, bottom.
Well, Ohio State did a good job of getting the ball down low to Oden, but also shooting the perimeter shot. That was 1 of 6 3-pointers for Ohio State.
Oden draws the foul. He finished up with 16-11. Izzo disleads Othello Hunter, the other big guy for the Buckeyes, with the baptism. Ohio State on the road, 63-54. They sweep Michigan State, Indiana, and Iowa. Kelvin Sampson a little upset with his players and trying to get Earl Callaway's attention there. Steve Alford, likewise, I'm sure, with Cyrus Tate. No harm, no foul.
No, both teams knew how important this game was. They wanted full attention and concentration.
Adam Haleska, the Big Ten leading scorer, knocks one down, and then Haleska again.
Well, Tyler Smith does a terrific job of stealing this ball, then finding Haleska. Haleska had 33 points, the leading scorer in the Big Ten.
The great hustle, as Jay mentioned, by Smith. He had 18 points, 7 assists, and 9 rebounds. Haleska, not only the Big Ten's leading scorer, playing tough D.
Doing a great job of getting a deflection. They couldn't see inside to DJ White, who only had 6 points after getting 23 and 12 last time Indiana played Iowa.
Iowa's big guys haven't been the best rebounders in the world. Did a good job in this game, 81-75. They outworked the Hoosiers on the board, and they win it by 6. So now the Big Ten standings look like this. Wisconsin and Ohio State with a 2-game lead on the field right now, Tim.
And how about Iowa jumping up to 5-4? Steve Alford and his staff doing a terrific job with that team. The scouting, the spacing, doing a great job.
In the SEC, the #1 team in the country, the Florida Gators, against Tennessee. Billy Donovan's team lost twice to Bruce Pearl and company last year. Joakim Noah said he came back to beat Pearl twice. Watch Walter Hodge open pass to the hoop. Dan Werner, beautiful bounce pass. Hodge had a dozen. Gators starting to pull away early, and then Al Horford had a huge game.
Oh, he was absolutely fantastic. 22 points, career high, 13 rebounds and 5 assists down low on the post for Florida.
But it's easy when they draw those arrows for him.
Yeah.
Go to where to go. Lee Humphrey shooting it as well as anyone in the country, knocked it down, and then Horford with the rejection of Jawan Smith. James Bradshaw. Bradshaw was the guy with the game-winning bucket in the 2 regular season games last year. He didn't get much done, and here is the aforementioned Mr. Noah. He had 19. Florida out-rebounded Tennessee 40-21.
Well, Tennessee's going to struggle. This is their 4th consecutive game without Chris Lofton. They're 1-3 in that area.
Corey Brewer came down awkwardly here. His hyperextended knee, walk off under his own power. Gators roll 94-78. Alabama coming off a huge road win against LSU at home against South Carolina. Second half, game tied at 54. Mikael Riley spots up.
Mikael Riley had a terrific ball game. He had 15 points in the game to go with Richard Hendricks, who dominated the glass.
Hendricks and Riley, 2-man game. There's Hendricks on the jump hook. Alabama by 3. South Carolina down to 3. Dwayne Day. Nice little fake here, Jay.
Gets everybody off their feet. You've got to stay down and leave your feet when the shooter does.
About 90 seconds to go. Alonzo G. Good look to Hendricks inside. He finished with 14. Alabama gets even in the SEC at 4-4. They beat South Carolina by 3. Kentucky and Arkansas. Tubby is mocking.
Yeah, how about that? That must be a new trend.
How about Ramel Bradley? Bradley got hot in the second half.
Bradley had 22 of his 24 in the second half. 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 steals.
Sonny Weems was the finish. Hogs go up by 8. He had 14, but Joe Crawford had an answer.
Crawford hits 13 points, but the thing was forcing 19 turnovers against Arkansas. That was the difference in the game, Kentucky's defense.
And the block by Randolph Morris, the freshman. Jody Meeks beating everybody to the rim. He had 6 of his 7 shots, had 15 points. Meeks again ahead of the field.
Big slam dunk. They played the passing lanes very, very well. Tubby team needed the road win. They got it against Arkansas, who's very dangerous at home.
82-74 catch. LSU in free fall. Final 4 last year. Big baby back on the road at Mississippi State. Glenn Davis, there's the big fella inside. 27-10. LSU 48-47. But then the Bulldogs would get it going. Deepik Slater.
Well, LSU didn't play any defense. They allowed Mississippi State 13 threes. 4 guys for Mississippi State in double figures.
Including Reginald Delk, who had 5 3-pointers. Stansberry's team, 85-78. Clearly, Florida, the class of the SEC and of the SEC East. And Lawrence and UCLA, which won the national title 11 times, came within a game of getting it last year. Looked like a champion against Oregon State at home. Josh Shipp on the finish.
Well, I mean, this game was done from the start, and this is why UCLA has a chance to win a national championship. They held Oregon State to 35 points for the game.
Hey, I had some advice for Oregon State at halftime. What was it, Hubert?
Go to the bus. Straight through. Forget about the locker room. Just go straight to the bus and go to Corvallis.
Recruit. Get to LAX. Go back home.
Interstate 5 north.
40-point lead for the Bruins. Ryan Wright finishing down low. 82-35. UCLA looked awesome. Arizona hasn't looked anything like awesome of late. Washington coming into Luke's house, and Luke's team played much better. Juwan McClellan had 15 points, and then Marcus Williams and Chase Budinger.
Marcus Williams getting the alley-oop pass to the great athlete Budinger, but I thought they were more impressive, Reese, on the defensive end. They held Washington to 37% from the field. Jordan Hill did a terrific job inside. That got their running game going. Arizona looked like a different basketball team than they have over the last 8 games.
But Hill started. Hill had 5 blocks on the day. Defensive presence, 30-point win for the little bit over there last night. Got it turned around against Washington. Providence and Marquette, the great Wayne Wade, who took his team to the Final 4. Nice player. Marquette history to have his jersey retired. Emotional moment with Tom Crean, and then David Kubian squares up and knocks down the 3. Golden Eagles up by 10, and Kubian again.
Well, when you look at what happens in this play, he makes things happen, getting it done. Dominic James, though, had a bad game, 2 for 11, 6 points. McNeil was the factor, 18 points, 12 rebounds.
62-56, Marquette leads. Gerard Curry had 17. Marquette's lead went down to 4, but Dan Fitzgerald, he had 14. Marquette wins it by 7. Golden Eagles turn it over 21 times, still able to get the 7-point victory. Louisville and Villanova. Pino and the Cardinals have place to play. Brandon Jenkins misses the quick 3. Earl Clark led everybody with 14 points.
He was really the only offense that Louisville had. Villanova did a pretty good job defensively. Neither team shot the ball real well. Curtis Sumter knocking one down. He had 10 points.
Wildcats have the lead. Terrence Williams driving. Juan Palacios the layup. 2-point game now. 30 seconds later, Scotty Reynolds.
Scotty Reynolds had 10 assists in this ball game. Again, didn't shoot the ball particularly well, but Villanova dominated the glass, especially the offensive glass. That was the difference.
That snap, the 4-game winner for Louisville. Rutgers and UConn, 7 ticks to go. Stanley Robinson can put the game away. UConn have lost 5 in a row. Now Rutgers and Anthony Farmer, they've got a chance.
Does anybody know how to defend a full court situation? Rutgers does a heck of a job to advance the ball and get a good shot to tie the game at 47.
In overtime, UConn hit 14 free throws. Jerome Dyson doing it there. 61-50. UConn avoids absolute disaster. And with the haunting cheer, Virginia Tech and Boston College in the ACC. Seth Greenberg's team all of a sudden struggling. Jared Dudley is not. BC up by 7.
You know, those guys just really played so well. When you get Rice, Dudley, and Marshall playing together, they scored 60 points today. Big win against Virginia Tech. Puts them right back in the picture of being one of the powers in the ACC at home.
It would be advisable to guard Dudley. He was 11 of 15 from the floor. Finished with 30 points, 13 rebounds. BC blows out Virginia Tech, 80-59. Clemson and Georgia Tech. Javaris Britton in the pressure. We saw him against North Carolina. A little shaky today, not so much.
Well, I mean, he's been struggling of late, but today he was huge. 26 points, 6 assists. He did have 6 turnovers, but he's very aggressive on the defensive end.
Steal, the punch, Tech up by 7, Tech up by 11. Crittenden would show off a little bit, grabs the board, and then a little fake, show it to him, and put it in.
Well, you know, Clemson, they went off to a 17-0 start, 1-5 since, struggling from those heartbreaking losses to Virginia and Duke. They'll bounce back later in the season.
80-62, Tech wins. In the Missouri Valley, Southern Illinois and Wichita State. Mark Burton's team seemingly had it turned around. Southern Illinois owned this game.
Well, Southern Illinois really came out strong defensively. This is a tight-knit group, and they are a bunch of winners. They got the ball inside to Randall Faulkner at 13 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 blocks. He was terrific.
P.J. Kuznar trying to bring the Wheat Shockers back. Lead down to 10. Jamal Tatum to match off.
Well, Jamal Tatum had another terrific ball game, 18 points, but it was the defense. I'm telling you, the Southern Illinois
half-game lead in the Valley. Ryder and Iona, why this one? Because Jeff Ruin and the Gales 0-22 coming into this game. Devon Clark leading Iona with 19. They're dancing in New Rochelle.
That's Rider University. My alma mater gives them their first win of the year.
Well, they probably found out you went to school there and somehow were distracted before the game.
I wouldn't argue with Ruin on this one.
Iona gets the victory. So
Nevada, Hawaii. Nick Fazekas, this shouldn't be a problem, taking care of Hawaii. Second half, under 12 seconds left, Hawaii down by 1. Here's where the controversy begins. Bobby Nash, Matt Gibson to Ahmet Guillen. And the question here is, when was this foul called? Should that basket have counted to give Hawaii a 1-point lead? Well, when it's all said and done, it appears right there the foul is called grabbed before the ball is corralled. Then the shot goes in. At first they said bucket good. You see there on the scoreboard, 70-69. But they take the points off the board. One more chance for Hawaii. P.J. Owsley gets the board, but that backboard lit up before the ball left his hands, and Nevada wins. And Hawaii, they felt like they got taken.
Number 17, Washington State at Arizona State. Tony Bennett's crew trying to overcome an 11-minute plus scoring drought in the second half. final seconds. Cougars up 4 off the scramble. Antwi Atuani grabs the loose ball, feeds Christian Polk for 3. He had 12 points. ASU pulls within 48-47. Next play, Derek Lowe turns it over. Check it out. He loses the handle. Ball bounces off Kyle Weaver. Sun Devils regain possession with 1.3 ticks on the clock. Ensuing inbounds. Polk gets a good look from the corner. Oh, whoa. Wazoo blows a 16-point lead and hangs on 48-47.
Watch out for Texas A&M. First half, Kansas up by 1. Sharon Collins. That's real nice. Kansas 12-0 lifetime against A&M. They've always beaten them. Collins for 3. He was 3 of 4 shooting those. Kansas by 8, but here come the Aggies. AC Law, he's like a mini Iverson. Got the tats. He's all spindly and shoots a knuckleball just like AI. And this is a big knuckleball. 3 from the corner, down 2. Law hits it, and the Aggies up by 1. Here comes Kansas. Chalmers, no. We got a hack. Got a foul. Kansas does. One more chance. They need a 3 to tie. Collins, Chalmers, no. And the Aggies, for the first time ever, beat Kansas, and they're now 19-3. What a story.
Florida State, they're at Duke. Big game for them. Duke Devils, well, they've never actually lost to Florida State at Cameron Indoor Stadium. Grant Hill, J.J. Redick in attendance. That should be good karma. Al Thornton spots up, hits the 3 over Dave McClure. Florida State, though, down 10 at that point. We go to the second half. Florida State has forged ahead 66-62. Ryan Reed almost loses the ball, covers, in it goes. Then DeMarcus Nelson whiffed a nice head fake. Duke down 3 after he hits that pull-up jumper. Now it gets tight. 7.7 seconds to play. Duke down 1. Greg Paulus misses the chance to win. Thornton gets the rebound. Refs call a jump ball. Possession arrow, Duke. Another chance. Coach K's Club, 4.2 seconds. McRoberts can't hit the McBucket. The tap won't go, and Florida State gets its first win ever at Cameron, 68-67. They improve now to 1-15 all-time in Durham.
Tubich, Kevin Durant in Texas, visiting number 7 Texas A&M in College Station. Durant 33+, 13+ in Big 12 play. First half, tough turnaround, gets the friendly roll. He had 12 points despite shooting 3 of 10 in the first half. AC Law, coming off that huge performance Saturday against Kansas, 3 of his 15 in the first half. Then late first half, more from AC Law. He's left-handed, but he goes right-handed. Explosive. Aggies up 5 at the break. Second half, Durant starts to seize control with a hand in his face for 3. Yes, sir. We're tied at 51. 2 minutes later. Another 3. Throw some D on that dude. Next Texas possession, Durant off the window. He had 28 points and 15 rebounds. First time an opponent has scored that much against the Aggies this season. Durant on a 7-0 run. The Longhorns have the lead, but Durant can't make them all. Josh Carter on the other end. Look at this little layup here. Around and through. Aggies up 8. Under 5:30 left. A&M dealing with all sorts of foul problems in this game, but it didn't bother him. Donald Sloan capping off a 7-2 run. Aggies up 8. Next possession, Josh Carter. Hanging and hitting. He had 24 points. Law with 21 and a career-high 15 dimes. And A&M goes on to beat Texas 100-82. The Aggies improved to 20-3 on the season. Their best start after 23 games in school history. This also marks the first time ever they've strung together 3 straight 20-win seasons. And they're looking like a lock for their first ever consecutive appearances in the NCAA tournament. Here now, Dick Vitale with more on the Aggies. Syracuse and UConn hooking up Monday. These two have had some great moments in the past. 2006 Big East Tournament, Jerry McNamara putting on a show, forces overtime. Syracuse eventually gets the win, eventually won the tournament. Same tournament, 2003, Carmelo Anthony, 29 points and 15 boards, but UConn wins 80-67 and advances to the championship game. January 16th, 1991, game stopped with 4 seconds left in overtime to announce the start of the Gulf War. Adrian Autry made 1 of 2 at the line to put Syracuse up 2. 1990 Big East Final. UConn looking for its first tournament win. They go on to shoot 10 for 10 from the line in the last 154. They win the tournament and win the game by 3. UConn's a bubble team this year. They're on the bubble for the Big East Tournament. 3-6 in league play coming into Monday. First half, That is Marcus Johnson. We highlight him because he's very wide open. Syracuse probably could have used that highlight thing. They didn't find him. UConn up 1 after the nasty dunk. Second half, a good one for Demetrius Nichols. 13 of his 20 points came in the second half. Those 2 points tied at 55. Huskies up 1 when Craig Austrie gets his own rebound and finishes. He had 14 points. Johnson had 10 points. Huskies win 67-60. Jim Calhoun gets his 500th win as Huskies head coach. First time since '97 these two have met, and neither were ranked